Hey guys, so welcome to February's reptile room tour. The last reptile room tour I actually did was of October. Now I quite like Monty's vivarium, I think it's quite nice. For you old subscribers out there, you'll remember that Monty was bought from the Doncaster Reptile Show. As you just saw in the thumbnail, that's the hair of my sick. We'll start from the bottom and go up with the Vivs, Kilo and Monty, and this is his vivarium. I'll try and get him out for you if I can, but he's doing really well. He's got a ceramic setup which is different to Lexi's. If you guys know, I'll show you in a minute. Lexi's is actually a infrared heat bulb. I've heard ceramics are better, so I decided to go for a ceramic with Monty. However, they don't emit any light, so his setup is quite dark most of the time. So I will be getting him some LEDs very soon. But this is just a close-up of his setup. Here's just a close-up of his setup. So I'm going to show you him now. He's actually really big. This is my hand for comparison. And he is my Mojave Royal Python, CB15. And his colours are actually looking really nice at the moment. He hasn't actually shed for a long time, but his colours are looking really nice. So now you guys are actually looking at Lexi's setup. Her setup is just above Monty's. Nothing's really changed since the last reptile room tour with her setup. I think I've added like one plant over here, and that's about it. But this is a setup, I quite like it, but I'd like to add some branches and that in the future. Hopefully in the near future. Like I mentioned earlier, this is her infrared heat bulb, and I would like to change that very soon to a ceramic. So this is her setup. Like I said, this is her setup. She's doing quite well as well. She's pretty much full grown now, and she weighs quite a lot as well. I haven't actually weighed her in a while, so I'm not entirely sure. This is her head poking out here, and I'll actually get her out for you now. She is a special Royal Python. She does actually look like a normal, however specials do look like normals. They are very similar looking, however they do create some really nice combos like the crystal. She's a really nice snake and I really like her. She's actually my first snake I got, and she's never shown any aggression towards me or anything like that. So here she is for comparison with my hands. She's absolutely huge. So guys, that's Lexi, and now we're going to move on to Cresties. So guys, here we are at Firefly's Exoterra terrarium. I have actually upgraded him into a 30 by 30 by 45 about a month ago. I just thought I might as well put him in there to give him more space, and he still eats fine whenever I put food in there for him. He's got a few plants, a vine, and I like this skull in here. It gives the terrarium a really nice look. I'm going to try and find him for you right now, but I'm not sure where he's going to be. And there he is right down there, if you can see him. Here he is. So when I got Firefly, he was actually around 2.5 grams, and he's grown a lot since. He's now around 6 grams. I bought him from Essex Geckos. I purchased him from Essex Geckos as they were near to me. Sadly, Essex Geckos are actually stopping breeding now, and she's getting rid of her whole collection, which is sad to see really, but that was Firefly's terrarium. So this is Fidget's terrarium. He's now in his adult setup, which is a 45 by 45 by 60 Exoterra. I quite like his setup. He's got hydro balls for drainage. I was going to make a setup video on this, but it would have taken too long, so I didn't. I'm hoping to make a really nice live planted bioactive setup, a bit like Leopard Gecko Talks in the future. But for now, I think this is nice. He's got some cork bark, some wood, vines, lots of plants and some moss in there. His substrate is just eco for the moment. He's got woodlice and springtails and also some beetles in there. Somewhere in the substrate, but I probably won't be able to find any. I'm just going to give you a close up of his setup now, and hopefully you'll be able to find him too, so I can show you. Because when I got him from Essex Geckos, he was around 6 grams, and he's now around 25, so he's grown a lot since. I saw him earlier, but I can't actually find him, guys, so we'll have to leave that. I'll just leave up a recent picture of him. And now we're going to move on to Trevor. So this is Trevor, my Acanthoscuria geniculata. He was actually given to me by Tyler's Reptiles as a birthday present, which I'm really thankful for. This is set up, it's just like an Exoterra breeding box. He's got a water dish, some plants and a bit of cork bark. I'm not entirely sure how old he is, but he's only ever molted once while I've had him. He's quite aggressive as well. He flicks hairs at me whenever I try and move him when I'm trying to sort his setup out. But that's Trevor. So here is my hognose setup. I got him from the September Doncaster Reptile Show last year. Sorry if it's shaky. I'm not actually using my tripod for this bit because he's in quite an awkward place to get to. He's in a 5 litre rub, and I do like his setup. He's got quite a deep substrate for burrowing. He's got this really cool log, this coconut hide, this plant, a bit of cork bark, and his water bowl. I'll try and get him out for you now. So here he is. I did manage to get him out of his tub. Minimal hissing and aggression, which is good. He is a normal 66% het toffee belly, CB16. He was born on the 11th of April, I think. He doesn't strike feed at the moment. He only drop feeds, which isn't too uncommon for hognoses, but hopefully I can get him strike feeding soon. This guy's also actually unnamed, so if you guys have any name suggestions for him, leave them in the comments below and I may choose one of yours. So now we've moved on to my Pac-Man setup. She is currently in a 18 litre rub. She's got eco earth, some cork bark and some moss, and then she's also got her water dish down here. Now if you guys saw my last video, you would have seen that I unboxed a Pac-Man frog kit. Now in fact most of the stuff in there I'm not going to use for my Pac-Man just because I don't want to. Instead I'm actually going to order some live plants and some decor and substrate from Bioactive Herbs. It's a really good website in the UK. It's where I bought my hydro balls and my drainage mesh along with my wood lice. You can actually see I have springtails in this setup. If you look over here, the little white things, they're springtails. They just eat all the dead stuff and the poo and keep the setup clean. This girl Ruby was sold to me as an apricot, which I've actually found out to be a strawberry pineapple. I've asked several breeders and she's a strawberry pineapple, not an apricot. I'm not going to disturb her. You might be able to see her right here. And her setup is quite minimalistic at the moment. But like I said, very soon I'm going to be making a really cool bioactive live planted setup for her. And it's going to look really cool. So that was my Pac-Man frog. So here we have Zuki's vivarium. Some of you guys may remember that Zuki had her own 3-foot vivarium. Lenny had his own 3-foot vivarium, and I had the girls in, and I had the 3 girls in a 3-foot vivarium. Now, since that very old video, I found out that both Lenny and Zuki are in fact girls. Clearly the place where I got them from doesn't know how to sex them properly, but they are definitely female. Also, they ovulated last year and they're starting to do it this year, so I'm pretty certain they're females. However, Lenny is a girl and Lenny is a boy's name. I still call her Lenny because it's hard to call a leopard gecko a boy's name for 2 years and then change it. However, I've renamed her Luna, but I'll carry on calling her Lenny. This is Zuki though. This is a 2-foot vivarium because Monty went into her 3-foot vivarium. This is actually one of the brand new models of Live Exotic Repti homes. They are nicer. The only thing I don't like about them is the locking mechanism. They have like a hole in the glass with a little like plastic bit, and they're not as good as like metal vivarium locks, but other than that I like them. So Zuki is just a normal leopard gecko. She's around 3 to 4 years old now. I believe she's in this hide here. Yeah, here she is. She actually looks really nice. I love her colours, and she's probably the tamest of my geckos. Her tail is quite big at the moment, but I guarantee that will thin out during the breeding season, as all my females do tend to go off their food, which is really annoying, but I guess it's just nature. But yeah, this is her, and now I'm going to show you my other 4. So this is Millie, my Tremper albino, and this in here is Lenny, my banana blizzard. Now these are also both females. I know some people think it's bad to cohab Leos or reptiles in general. However, these guys have been together for a long time, and I monitor them to make sure they're fine and they haven't got any aggression between each other. So I'm happy with the choice I'm making. This their setup, they've just got eco earth, 3 hides, some cork bark and some decorations along with their water bowl and their food bowl. So Millie was actually purchased from the Doncaster Reptile Show in September 2015, along with 2 others that I got. I'm not sure who I got her off, and Lenny was bought from the same place as Zuki, which was actually an aquarium shop near me. These are my other 2 leopard geckos, both females again. They are Chloe and Zoe. They are both Tremper albinos, which I purchased from LA Geckos. I think he's stopped breeding and selling now, but I'm not entirely sure. This is their setup. It's a 3-foot with exotic vivarium too. They've got 3 hides, their bowls, some plants, and their cork bark. Here we have Zoe, and if you look at her tail here, it's absolutely huge. It gets a lot bigger than this, but I don't want to make her too big, because obviously that's not healthy. So here's Chloe, and here's her tail. It's also massive. She does look a bit different, as she's got more banding and less patterning than Zoe does. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the February reptile room tour. I spent a ton of time recording this and editing it, so I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you haven't already. Comment down below, especially if you've got a name for my hognose, and I'll see you next video.